Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a special video for you. First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm going to be cooking a Christmas dinner. So we have some jollof rice, some roasted vegetables, a tofu side, a fun drink. I'm so excited to share all of these recipes with you. If you're looking for some inspo for the holiday season, this is definitely the video for you. So let's get to cooking. I have some plum tomatoes and some red bell pepper I'm going to chop up, and we will air fry these. So I always use plum tomatoes because they are the least acidic type of tomatoes. They are a lot better than grapevine, which I feel like you still have to always do magic with it. And then I add red bell pepper for color and for flavor, and then some scotch bonnet pepper. I will technically also bake this, but I need to preheat the oven for my clay pot. So in the air fryer goes. Delicious jollof rice requires delicious base, and onions is such a good and important part of that. So I have a medium to large onion here. I'm going to split it in two, and I'm going to actually split it in more like 3-4, where I will finely dice one portion of it and then blend the rest to make my onion, ginger, garlic, all that jazz base. I just like mine finely diced like this. Shift that to the side. I have organic ginger here. I'm not going to peel it because it's organic. And then some garlic cloves. I put the onion, garlic, ginger in here, and I'm going to blend it until smooth, and we'll get started on the stew. I'm not washing this blender. We are going to use it just like it is.
I also added basil to the blender because in Tree we call basil akoko besan, which translates to the chicken will finish, because when they put basil in chicken soup, it is delicious. I don't eat chicken, but I love the flavor of basil and I love the idea behind it, so I added it to my tomato mix.
So we have all of our blends here. I have here the tomatoes that I blended. It does not look as dark, but it's fine. Then I have my onion, ginger, and garlic blend. I have some tomato paste. I'm not going to use all of it. I think I'll just use half. I don't want to make too much jollof.
Now that our ingredients are prepped, it is time to start cooking. So I'm going to start by heating up some vegetable oil. I think I used olive oil here. Once the oil was hot, I added in my onions to saute. I like to keep the temperature of my pot low because that is what has been advised to me. Cooking with pots is a bit of a learning curve. Once the onions had softened up, I added my onion puree. I'm basically going to cook this down to reduce and to evaporate as much water as I can. This helps to make the onions a lot sweeter, and so that you don't have too much water going into your stew. So now that my onions have cooked down, you can see that they're almost sizzling in the oil. It is time to move on to the next step. So I'm adding in some tomato paste. Tomato paste is essential because not only does it add color, it adds a concentrated tomato flavor. However, it is canned, so you really need to cook it down for a bit. About 5 minutes is all you need to cook out some of that canned flavor from it and to make it, extra sweet. Now that our tomato paste has cooked down for a few minutes, I'm going to add in the blended tomato pepper mix. Jollof rice is all about layering flavors and ensuring that you have a delicious stew. This is why I started with the onion mix, allowed that to cook a little bit, added the tomato paste, allowed that to cook a little bit before adding in my pureed tomato and pepper mix. You want a delicious stew to ensure a delicious rice. I will allow all of this to cook for about 20 minutes. Oil will settle at the top, which will give a good indication that this tomato mix has really cooked down. Then I will add in my spices, which will cook for a few minutes before adding in my rice.
we are going to be adding in our spices. So I have our ejiawari, and it has like your typical Ghanaian spice blend: garlic, ginger, onions, anise seeds, which we call nkete, cloves, which we call pepper, and rosemary, which I don't think we have a tree name for that. And then I'm going to add some better than bouillon for extra flavor, savoriness, rather than using Maggi cube. Add in my bay leaves. Okay, so taste test, good level. I will adjust some more when I add the rice. While the stew is cooking, let's talk a little bit about the spice. So ejiawari is like takes the marriage or something. My mother explained it to me that when in the times of polygamy, if you want to be the favorite wife, this is the one this is what you use to make your stew. Ejiawari also, it's not just the spice, but basically anything that can make the food taste so good that you are the taker of marriages. I don't know how to explain this, but yes, so that's why I'm basically calling this dish my marry me jollof rice.
I allowed the spices to cook in the stew for about 5 to 10 minutes to allow the flavors to melt. FYI, this recipe has been on my blog for a few years now. It does not use any fancy equipment, and all the spices and ingredients can be found at your local grocery store. Today, I'm going to be baking my jollof rice in a clay pot. I do not typically bake my jollof, but I've come to love the flavor and aroma that traditional clay pots give to these traditional meals. I'm using a big, heavy-duty clay pot that I preheated in the oven while I made the tomato stew. I didn't use the big pot for the stew because while clay can maintain heat well, it takes forever for it to heat up. So a heavy-duty pot would have extended the cooking time probably by 20 minutes, especially with my small gas stove. With the oven, the heat spreads more evenly, and I can take my time to cook the jollof with the rice. Traditional Ghanaian jollof rice uses long grain jasmine rice, which is what I have specified in this recipe. Please do not use any other type of rice, whether it's just regular long grain rice, brown rice, or parboiled rice, as these different varieties require a different water to rice to stew ratio. The only other substitute that I can think of that would work is probably basmati rice. Before I cook the jollof, I make sure it is over seasoned. As the jollof rice cooks and the rice expands, the flavors will dilute, so I make sure that the jollof mix is a little more salty and overspiced than my personal preference. I am using vegetable broth as my liquid of choice, but to be honest, water would have worked perfectly. This broth was just giving nothing. Jasmine rice is quite soft and it doesn't need a lot of liquid to actually fully cook. I'm covering the pot with aluminum foil because there are some spaces between the clay pot cover and the pot itself. I'm not using parchment paper here because for how long I'm going to be baking the jollof and the temperature I'm going to be using, I don't want any issues with the parchment paper burning. The jollof rice will bake in the oven for 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 50 minutes.
Okay, this is a view from my kitchen. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to give it a good mix, and then we'll put it back in the ovens. Oh, whoa. Our jollof rice is extra steamy. This. Oh, it's beautiful. It's so, oh, the pot is so hot. It's actually crazy. Okay, what I should have done is that because I did not cook the stew in here, I should have put oil in the pot so that it doesn't stick. But it's not going to be an issue. I'll be able to easily get it off. It smells so good. And the pot is what makes it even better. I think this is definitely on the softer side. As it cools down, it will become more 111 and it will get darker. But yes, this was in the oven for 50 minutes. So it was all nice and tender. But yeah, I like my rice a little soft. So if you like hard rice, just 1 cup of liquid is good enough. So that's my jollof. Oh, look at that. Brussels sprouts. Prep our Brussels sprouts. I don't think these are the greatest quality, in my honest opinion. It was the only thing that I was able to get when I went to Whole Foods. So let's remove all of that nastiness and clean them up. Now I'm going to give these a good wash and then we will roast them. I have here some garlic and ginger paste. I have an umami seasoning blend on my blog, so I'm gonna mix some of that in there. Dawa to add more savouriness. And then some salt. Let's taste it. Very nice. I should put a towel underneath this, but I am too lazy. These will go in the oven at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Underneath the Brussels sprouts, I'm going to make a cashew cream. So in Ghana, when we are eating jollof rice, we usually have it with almost like either a creamy thing, whether it's a creamy coleslaw or like a Ghanaian style salad, which is basically like very decadent. So I wanted to remix this a little bit. So we have some cashews that I have soaked, and I had some frozen garlic, so I just plopped them in the water. It's about a cup of cashews. Then I will add some salt, a tablespoon of lemon juice, tablespoon of oil, and some freshly cracked black pepper. I like the flavor of black pepper, so I'm using a lot. Half a cup of water. That's all she wrote. It's a thick one. It's not as smooth as I wanted it to. Sorry, it's not as smooth as I wanted it to be because the blender is too big. This is what we get. Yeah, it's not smooth, but I don't want to make too much, so this is what we will get. But it tastes really nice. It's really nice. I don't have a small blender. If I did, I'll use it. Very nice. Brussels sprouts, they look so crispy, so good, so good. Okay. Look at this. I have here some extra firm tofu that I have frozen and thawed, and now I am going to chop it up. But now when the tofu is frozen, this is extra firm so it can hold its shape, but now there's like lots of little holes in there that can soak up all that flavor. So I think I'll cut it this way. I'll use this something for later. I can definitely use it for other things. Since it's two people, I'll just cut it. Please be straight. Please be straight. Okay. So now we have our two tofu steaks. And then I will marinate this bouillon cube. Some more of that jawari. Mix it. I'll add some chili pepper. Kiddy willy spice. Just a mix of cloves and calabash nutmeg. This is very optional. I just put enough water to make it a bit of a paste. Okay. So, tofu. Put our mix on top. It's gonna be a bit salty, but it's okay. I won't be putting much salt anywhere else. And once I fry it, it will definitely lose a lot of that saltiness. Generously rub these. I'm not going to add too much to the side because I don't want it too salty. So I am going to let these marinate. I'll cover them with plastic wrap. Okay. And my spice crusted tofu recipe. So let's mix the breadcrumbs up first. Okay, so I have grounded my spices. Some of them are still whole. That's fine. It adds texture. So give a good mix. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Okay. So we have our flour that I will dip the tofu in, our plant-based milk that I will dip the flour tofu in, and then our crust. Okay. The recipe calls for air frying them, but my oven is already warm, so I thought, why not? Our very seasoned tofu and the milk. Okay, so we have our cutlets here. I sliced them into pieces, and that's that. Now let's get to our drink. Okay, for our drink, we are going to make a Grains of Paradise simple syrup. So I have some Grains of Paradise. I use this with my Christmas cookie box. If you haven't checked that out, it's on my blog, and I did a series on YouTube and Instagram, so I'll be linking all of that here. But these are Grains of Paradise. We call them alligator pepper. They have almost like a sharp citrusy flavor, and actually a common ingredient in botanicals for gin. So we're going to make a mocktail using this to flavor our simple syrup. We'll do 1 tablespoon. We really want everything concentrated. Half a cup of sugar. Then I'm going to add 1 cup of water. A good mix. On the stove it goes. For the rim of our glass, I'm mixing equal parts sugar, salt, and Grains of Paradise. The salty, sweet, and spicy combination of the rim adds something extra to the cocktail. I placed my glass in the freezer for a frosted look, and then to ensure that the rim sticks on the glass, I'm just going around the rim with some lemon and then trying to get as much of that rim mix on the glass as possible. I don't want to lose the condensation, so I will place the glass back in the freezer. For the cocktail, I'm starting with cranberry juice, then 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. The lemon juice brings a bit of acid to everything, something that the alcohol would have done in a cocktail.
Then in goes my syrup. It smells very fragrant with hints of citrus. Then in goes some ice. I'm gonna give this cocktail a really good shake. And then to serve, I'm going to add more ice to my serving glass, a little slice of lemon for presentation, and we're ready to pour. So I actually forgot to hit record, but I'm glad I caught the last bit on camera. This is our final cocktail. I am so excited to drink this. Now let's get ready to set the table to eat.
Hello. Oof, it's been a long day of cooking. That's our meal is ready and our drink is ready. Thank you all so much for being here with me and hanging out with me as I cooked a special Christmas dinner. I really wanted to add dessert, but time has really escaped me. So I'm going to wrap up this video. If you want to cook any of these recipes, it is linked in the description box below. Aside from that, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I have another Christmas video coming up, more on the very traditional recipes. But yes, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.